How we doing, folks? This is Houc again, Houc Social Gaming, and I'm going to go over my recently turned 90 DK. Now that I've got all my talents chosen and glyphed and all that wonderful jazz that we have to do when we hit 90, I'm going to go over them and explain them a little bit and tell you why I chose to do what I did. So, just like with my Druid video, we're going to go ahead and start with my talents. Same as before, I'm not going to go over each individual one of these talents. If you play a DK, you watch other videos, plenty of other people tell you what they are. So here we go. Unholy Blight surrounds the Death Knight with a vile swarm of unholy insects for 10 seconds, stinging all enemies within 10 yards over 1 second, inflicting them with the Blood Plague and Frost Fever. Like that. Adds another disease, which, as we all know, for DKs, whether it be blood, frost, or unholy, diseases are your key thing. Obviously, that's a no-brainer. Anti-magic zone. Usually, I'm right by the tank for any damage done in raids and heroics and whatnot. So if I see a big spell getting ready to be cast, something I know that's gonna put the hurt on them, I pop AMS or anti-magic zone, excuse me, and just kind of take the edge off a little bit. Death's Embrace. Went with that. Map move 10%, faster. If I get snared or something like that, it won't reduce me below 70%, so I can still move. It's simple. Death Pact. Basically, a Frost DK's best friend when your ghoul is out. Frost DKs that I've seen and the luck I'm having don't have, they have good survivability, but not like a Blood Death Knight does, obviously. So I keep that around just in case I need a spot heal real fast. Runic Corruption. When you land a damaging Death Coil, Frost Strike, or Rune Strike, you have 45% chance to activate Runic Corruption, increasing your next rune regeneration rate by 100% for 2 seconds. Obviously, you got to keep the runes up. If you don't keep the runes up, you can't get your big attacks off. You can't get your big attacks off. You can't get your DPS down or DPS up. So definitely no-brainer there. Remorseless Winter, the 90 talent that I chose, surrounds the Death Knight with a swirling tempest of frigid air for 8 seconds, chilling enemies within 8 yards every 1 second. Each pulse reduces target's movement speed by 15% for 3 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Upon receiving a 5th application, the enemy will be stunned for 6 seconds. I don't really use that in raids or hero dungeons or anything like that. It's mainly for questing thing or PvP, because you definitely don't want to freeze enemies in a raid if the tank's trying to get the little death ball up, because that's just going to make the tank upset because he can't get the guy over to him to get the little death ball going. So I don't use that. Also, on a side note, that's why I went with Death's Advocate here instead of Asphyxiate. Got a caster off to the side. I would rather not silence them from way over there across the screen. I'd rather pull them in with my Death Grip, get them by the tank, and then use an interrupt, like, for example, Mind Freeze. Interrupt the target, plus it's a slight silence for 4 seconds from that magic school. So I preferred that. That's why I went with Advanced instead of Asphyxiate. Glyphs. Nothing real crazy here. Glyph of Death Grip increases the range, so I can get that caster in there if I need to. Anti-Magic Shell causes your Anti-Magic Shell to absorb all incoming magical damage up to the absorption limit. So if, for example, I've used this when everybody's about down and the boss is like last 2-3%, and I know I've got the DPS to finish the boss off. I just have to survive their last Hail Mary attack that they do. I'll pop that, keep myself up. If other people die, yeah, that sucks, but I might be able to finish the fight for them, so we don't have to start fresh again. Chains of Ice, I'm probably going to change this because I never use it. I'll change it to something else, more than likely, when I do whatever I decide to go through with my list here. Yeah, it not only does it freeze the target in place, but it also causes 150 frost damage. Minor Glyphs. Glyph of the Undead. The ghouls summoned by your army of the undead no longer taunt the enemy. No tank likes it when the DK summons his army on the boss and he can't take aggro because the damn boss is spinning like a top. Maybe there's no one with that. Glyph of Geist. Just changes my ghoul that I summon my little buddy from a ghoul to a Geist, just because I want something different. I want to be an individual. Glyph of Path of Frost. Fall or greater distance without damage. So if I'm trying to get down a hill real fast, I can keep popping that and I don't die as quick. So yeah, glyphs and talents there. Basic rotation that I do is a 1-2-3 combination, depending on situational awareness that I have. Let's see here. See if I can find a training dummy that I want to work this on. 80s. This is a boss one. I could probably pull a little bit on that. We'll go ahead and do that. So first thing I'm going to do, just like any other fight, I pop my Horn of Winter, get that up, pop that, my Blood Fury, which is my ratio, and a lot of people don't like to hit their Howling Blast a single target attack because they say you're wasting it. But it helps. I've noticed build up my rune energy here, so that's why I use it. Other than that, if I don't have it up, I solo select. Like as you can see on the screen there, my number 2, my number 3, my Frost Strike, and my Obliterate are just lighting up like crazy because I'm spamming the crap out of them. Another thing I always try to do is I always try to keep Death of Decay down. A lot of the time, make sure I pop my Ghoul up. If I need to, I'll Mind Freeze. Another thing I'll do once in a while, if something's up or on cooldown, I'll go ahead and I'll pop this Soul Reaper. Get that up there, put some extra damage on that. Keep that going. Let's say it's an AoE group. Pop my Holy Blight, keep that up there. If I start to have trouble and I know I need to get my DPS up a little bit, hit my Power Rune Weapon. If it's a boss, I spawn Fortitude so they can't throw me off at all. Get me off track. Always keep Outbreak on cooldown as long as I can. You hear my keyboard probably somebody's going ape shit, because it is. So yeah, this is basically how I do fights. Like I said, I'm gonna get yelled at probably by a lot of people because I pop Howling Blast anytime I can. Well, it works for me. I mean, and that's what the whole point of playing different classes in the game is so you can learn what works for you, so you can be the best player you can be, whether it be heals, melee DPS, range DPS, tank, doesn't off tank, doesn't matter. It's just the way I like to roll. Obviously I've got everything on cooldown right now, but I mean, this is the boss. I mean, it just says boss. It doesn't tell me what his level equivalent would be, and I'm not raid buffed or anything like that. I mean, I got a food buff on and whatnot. But I mean, I'm standing consistently over 20k DPS, which to me I think is just fine for a standalone fighting. Obviously, it will get higher as my gear goes on. Like I said, I just got this guy to 90, I think, yesterday. Maybe the day before. I don't really remember. It was late night. But this is basically how the rotation goes, and it works for me. And like I said, that's the key point. Find out what works for you. Stick with it. One thing I also want to note, I just did a little bit of research and decided to go this route. My Rune Forge that I did Rune of Razor Ice. A lot of Death Kites you'll see, they do the Fallen Crusader for the chance to heal. Well, here's my issue with that. Yeah, it's good. It's got a chance to proc heal you, maybe take a little bit of extra help off on the healer from having to spot heal you on the fly. My main is a healer, so I appreciate that. But at the same time, I would rather have the DPS doing more damage than healing of themselves because I can keep them up. It's not a problem. That's my job. That's what I do. So going with Razor Ice, I did that because 1, Frost Decay. It's going to go together. 2, does its own little bit of frost damage, but it also increases the amount of, or let me rephrase that, decreases the frost resistance of an enemy, which they're more susceptible to frost damage. Again, Frost Decay, there goes together. So that's why I went with that. Obviously, my sword is transmogrified because I hate the one that I got from the quest that I did. Again, which this is in my last video. First thing I did when I hit 90 was I went to the scenarios and I went right here, Arena of Annihilation. Did that quest, got my 450 weapon, and I've been going ever since. That's what I prefer to do. Obviously, he's not ready for heroics yet because it takes 435 item level. I've got a 432. Now my not my paladin. This guy is a jewel crafter, so I can make a couple pieces of gear to get him up there, so I can start running heroics, which I'll probably do here within a day or so. But right now I've been establishing the standard of dailies that we have to do with the Golden Lotus and the Calaxy and stuff. Basically, if you want to raid, you got to get those reputations up, or you're not going to spend your Valor points. You got to spend the Valor points to get the gear. That's never changed. It never will change. Maybe how we get to where we can spend our Valor points is going to be different. You know, I mean, this whole new reputation thing, a lot of people complain about it, but it's constantly giving you something to do. You constantly have a goal. If you want the gear other than Raid Finder, when you can do LFR, you have to do. There's things you have to do. It's going to give you a reason to log into World of Warcraft and say, man, I've done all my dailies. I don't have anything else to do. We've got unlimited dailies now, you know, and we have to do them to get that rep. You can't. It's more in depth. It's helping you to get more into the game, in my opinion. It gives you a focus. You know, when you get that reputation up, you're gonna feel great about what you've done, what you've accomplished. Yeah, everybody does it, but for you to do it, there's people who don't. You can be a step ahead of those other people, as long as you know what your main focuses are. So, really, my Death Knight's really simple right now. I haven't really done anything specific to him. Off spec is obviously blood, because sometimes the 20 to 30 minute queues for DPS is stupid, and I don't want to do it, so I'll tank. Which blood tanking is, as everybody knows, easy. It's like 2 buttons, you know, Death and Decay, Blood Boil, and just that's pretty much it. So, yeah. Key thing: make sure you're always in the presence of the spec that you're in. I don't know how many times I've screwed up going to blood for tanking and forgot to put my presence back on, or I've switched presences for some goofy reason in the middle of a fight and forgot to switch back. It happens. I get sidetracked, distracted really easy. You hold a polka dot blanket up in front of me, I'm done. I'll giggle for hours. So, yeah, this is again my Death Knight, Houc with Houc Social Gaming. I do live stream. I'm on www.twitch.tv/Torenhoof. If you want to check out my live stream, I don't have a set schedule on it. I do it for fun. If I'm sitting around, I'm feeling antsy, and I know I'm going to be on WoW for a while, I'll stream it. I play Diablo 3, I'll stream it. Modern Warfare 3 online, I'll stream it. StarCraft, I'll stream it. Just anything for people to come in, have a good time, sit around, and just shoot the breeze. If you want to make fun of the way I play, make fun of my character classes, it doesn't matter. It's all for fun. I'm a really easy guy to get along with. So, thanks for watching. I hope you hit the like button, which I hope you like what you watched. And if you have any questions, comments, or anything, leave them in the video boxes below. I love to hear what people have to say, and I'm always willing to learn. If there's something I'm missing, tell me. I'll try it out, factor it in. If it's something I like, then I'll update my information. It's all about learning and helping each other out. So yeah, this is again Houc with Houc Social Gaming. Folks, take her easy, and thanks for watching.